Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, depending on where you are. Thank you for joining us. I'm Lindsay Joy, one of the coordinators in the Office of Education at the American Urological Association. And this is Jody Donaldson, who is joining us. Hi, Jody.
Hi, Lindsay. Thanks for putting this together today.
Thanks for joining me and helping me with this as well. So excited to talk today about fundamentals in urology, returning again this summer. So today what we're going to talk about is fundamentals in urology, both the hands-on skills and the virtual didactic series that we have available. We'll talk a little bit about the outcomes from last year and what we have new to offer you this year in 2025. And of course, any questions that you have for us. So before we get into that a little bit, we're going to watch a short video from last year to see about some of the experiences that attendees had on site in Cleveland before we get into some of the details from last year and what we have new to offer this year. So we're going to play that video and then we can get into the details.
This was my first hands-on training with AUA Fundamental Workshop. I had an amazing time, met old friends, met new friends. Every station was amazing for different reasons, but it helped me build more confidence in being a urology PA.
I think overall, as like a trainee, it's just helpful to get very hands-on experience for very practical skills that'll help us throughout residency and beyond.
We got to learn from hands-on models, from priapisms, renal ultrasounds, endoscopies, got to pick the brains of some of the top experts in the field and got to connect with so many urologists.
I'm so thankful that my institution sent me here. In addition to the hands-on training that we've gotten to have over the last couple of days, it's been such an amazing experience to meet other trainees, other providers, hearing what other people are doing at their institutions. I really enjoyed the uterine skill training, specifically the endoscopy skill station, as well as the prostate biopsy one. I think these are very relevant to me as an intern, just learning the bread and butter of urology.
And I'm really liking, of course, especially the prostate ultrasounds. I really feel like really helped in understanding how to do biopsy with the orient of yourself. I also really particularly enjoyed the opportunity to place a suprapubic tube into renal ultrasound to get PCN access, and I thought they were very useful and will help me in my training.
Okay, so now we'll review the hands-on skills training that we offered. This is a 1.5 day live in-person training. It offers both clinical skills and interpersonal and communication skills training. It is designed for junior urologists, so current interns, rising PGY2s, and also the incoming interns that have recently matched with programs. And then for APPs, it's designed for APPs who are maybe newly entering into urology as a specialty, or APPs just starting out. So that is what Fundamentals in Urology is specifically designed for. And first, we'll look at some of the resident outcomes from last year. So we see that very high percentage of residents strongly agreed that the training increased their preparedness for their early career as a resident on the floor, and they felt like they could make improvements in their surgical techniques as a result of their participation, due to the great clinical exposure to the aspects of the urology, and also the simulation models that they were able to practice on, and learning from faculty from a variety of different institutions and therefore different skills and approaches, and that it really helped their confidence in different surgical skills. Here's a look at the different simulation stations, particularly the resident outcomes again. You'll see that 80% of the skill stations were rated over 85%, that the skills topic was relevant and appropriate for an early career resident. And here are some of the APP outcomes. You'll see again, it's very strong response. 89% of APPs agreed that the skills taught at fundamentals were just right in that Goldilocks area of not too much, not too little, just right space. And 100% agreed that it increased their preparedness for their early career as an APP in urology. And we have an APP attendee encouraging other attendees, APPs, to attend early in their career, to meet your peers and young physician partners, to really help you out, getting going in your career, improving your current practice, and gaining that confidence. So what is new for 2025? So in response to faculty and participant feedback, we do have some new things for 2025. The biggest thing probably is that we're offering unique training tracks for residents and APPs. This is acknowledging the very unique training needs of these two groups, residents and APPs, and focusing on cystoscopy for APPs and for residents, including cystoscopy and uroscopy. The learning objectives that we have for residents and APPs have been updated accordingly, relying on those updates that we've made in those distinct training tracks. A station that we had last year, surgical skills, which focused on knot tying, has been updated to instrument review. This was one of the biggest asks we had from attendees. So it will be focused on scope review. So learning how to master assembling, dismantling, and troubleshooting scopes in the OR and having more confidence with that. And then interpersonal and communication skills. That station will also be included in the distinct training tracks of residents and APPs and more tailored to those scenarios and needs of residents and APPs. So registration, I would encourage you to take advantage of our early bird registration that we're offering until July 8th. So that is included with up to 25% saving on the fee. So that is both for APPs and residents. So when you go to register, if you're an APP, make sure you register for the APP hands-on. And if you're a resident, make sure you're registering for the resident hands-on. There's no difference in price or anything. It's just making sure you're registering for the appropriate track for your training needs. And now we'll turn it over to Jody, and she will tell us all about the virtual didactic series.
Thank you so much, Lindsay. So this is the third year that we're offering the Fundamentals Virtual Didactic Series. So in year one, we did have two options for it. We had one where you could watch the presentations live virtually, or you could complete them on demand. What we found was the overwhelming majority of attendees preferred the on-demand option as it fit better into their lives. So as a result, we then pivoted and only offered the on-demand activity last year, and we're doing the same this year. That allows our learners to complete these activities at their own pace. This curriculum was developed by our course directors, Dr. Gina Balatalato and Lindsay Hampson, and each module includes a 1-hour lecture by a national expert and a post-test, as well as for many of the activities, relevant resources such as clinical guidelines and Urology Care Foundation patient resources are included. Next. So here you can see last year we had 164 registrants, 91 being residents and 73 being APPs. So the majority of our learners did find these activities prepared them for their early career as either residents or APPs in urology. And 100% agreed that the content was relevant to their educational needs and would recommend the activities to others, residents and APPs in urology. So you can see here great feedback on our evaluations. Next. We also asked participants to provide us with some feedback, and here you can see that the participants felt that these on-demand didactic lectures really complemented the education that they received at the hands-on skills course. It was really useful as far as being practical for everyday clinical practice. And really, they liked the additional resources that were included. Next. So here you can see the 15 on-demand lessons that are offered. We've grouped these here for you so that you can see we've got very kind of practical information as far as how to be a good intern, pearls and wisdoms from past residents as well. And then we also have a lot of clinical topics covered here that are going to help you in your everyday patient care. So each of these modules is available for a 1-year period. So you'll be able to complete these at your own pace throughout the next 12 months. Next. We do have a couple options here. So the virtual didactic series can be paired with the hands-on skills training, or it can be purchased separately. So if you are attending the hands-on skills training, you can add on the virtual didactic series and you will save $50 for getting both. So, this is really a great deal. Even if you do the virtual didactic series and you're an AUA member, you're paying less than $10 a lesson for these modules. So it's a very valuable curriculum here that you can get. Next. All right. So each of the modules is accredited, and the AUA is accredited by the ACCME to offer this accreditation. So while we do accredit it for AMA PRA Category 1 credits, we are not accredited to provide credits specifically to individuals who are not MDs and DOs. However, we do provide documentation of the participation that you can then submit to your accrediting body. And I know most of the APP credentialing organizations do accept the AMA PRA Category 1 credits toward your continuing education requirements. Next. Great. So I'm going to have Lindsay come back on and join me here. On here, we've got the contact information for both myself and Lindsay. If you have questions, if they're specific to the skills training, please do reach out to Lindsay. She is our expert in all of the hands-on skills training and will be able to help you. If you have questions about the virtual didactic series or any technical issues completing those lessons, you can reach out to myself. If you need registration assistance, help with processing payments, etc., you can reach out to our customer service team. They'll be glad to help you register for any of these programs over the phone. You can also do registrations online. So that information is all provided there for you. So Lindsay, is there anything else you wanted to add for the group?
Thank you, Jody. I don't think so, except that I am so looking forward to fundamentals this August. Let me see if there's any questions in the chat here for us. I don't see any questions here in the chat at the moment for us. But like Jody said, if you have any questions for us, please reach out to us. And we hope we see some of you, actually lots of you, this August and online for the virtual didactic series.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you, everyone, for joining.